Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome to Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. This game is absolutely mind-blowing. If you're a fan of grand strategy games, then you've come to the right place. This game is absolutely epic and the second installment has just been released and I have to give them props. They've done such a good job of lowering the price to entry to this game. It's actually really impressive. So if you've never heard of the Gary Grigsby games, they are grand strategy games. Think kind of Hearts of Iron 3 but on steroids, and basically you command the entire Russian front, whether it's on the Axis or the Soviet side, from beginning in Operation Barbarossa all the way up until the fall of Berlin in 1945. And in this installment, they've gone ahead and completely revamped the air war. They've added in a complete revamp to supply, as well as just tightening up a lot of the other things. Because, I mean, the first game is considered a masterpiece, so they've definitely not gone ahead and reinvented the wheel, but they've done a great job of just kind of building upon that, adding in stuff that people wanted. And I have to say, I've been playing this game, I've played about 10-15 hours, which really is not much whatsoever to fully get into grips with this game. But they've done a great job of really, as I said, lowering that kind of entry fee to the game. They've gone ahead and made it so that a lot of the more complex systems in this game you can go ahead and give over to the AI to go ahead and handle. Now, it's not going to be the most optimal, it's not going to be the most optimal way. I'm sure a player, if they really understood every part of the game, could completely do it. But the AI does a great job, and you can just go ahead and move your counters around. Just, again, kind of think like Hearts of Iron style, and just kind of be like, oh, this is my attack value, this is the enemy defense value, and just kind of, plan your encirclements, and you command the, the panzers punching through enemy territory and enveloping millions of Russian soldiers. And as the Russians, you're obviously constantly trying to stop that from happening until the winters hit and you can start actually mounting a better defense, which is really, really exciting. And I think they've done such a good job at doing that in this second game, because as I said, I never really played the first one as much as I should have, because this was coming out. I was like, oh, I'll just hold off until War in the East 2 does come out. And then when it did come out, I picked it up very, very quickly. I'll go ahead as well and leave a link to an amazing YouTube channel I highly recommend you guys check out if you're looking to get into this game, get into any of the War in the East series, or any of the Gary Grigsby games. He's called Strategy Gaming Dojo. I watched him religiously when learning this game, and I highly recommend it. He has tutorials, or you can just watch his Let's Play on this game, and you can pick up the majority of what you need, because he does some great job. And I normally just have him on 2x speed whilst I'm editing, and I learn an absolute ton from him. So I highly recommend you check out his channel. He's a very much a strategy gaming channel, and yeah, let me know that I sent you as well if you do go over to his channel and check him out, because he obviously deserves way more subs than he has. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So first things first, I just want to quickly show you guys the Grand Campaign. That's not the campaign that we're going to be going ahead and doing, so I'll set myself playing as the Axis because they go first in the 1941 campaign. But let's just load into Operation Barbarossa 1941. This is the grand campaign. There are tons of other smaller ones which you don't have to worry about, but this is like the ultimate campaign. Okay, so we are now in the Grand Campaign, and it may look extremely intimidating at the beginning, but as I said, there are a lot of smaller scenarios, so you can really get to grips with how the game works. This does command the entire Eastern Front from Army Group North, Center, and South, as well as, I believe South has been split into two different at some point, and you obviously also have all the Romanians and Hungarians, basically all the Axis troops. And you can see, it does look a bit intimidating to begin with, but as I said, it is very manageable, but especially if you start with the smaller ones. If you take a look, it goes all the way down to the actual units right here. So for example, we've got the 291st Infantry Division. You go back to the 18th Army, and they obviously have all the HQs, which you have to make sure that you do keep your soldiers in actual command as well. Right now we're on the air phase, which is a completely separate thing to the actual ground combat. You set up all your air directives and all the things that you want your planes to do, and then whilst you're fighting, they'll go ahead and do that on the ground. I can go ahead and turn that off really quickly though, and you can just take a look at the actual ground. You can see there are a ton of counters, all of these representing different divisions across the front, and there's a very nice command structure in this game, much like there was in Hearts of Iron 3. I kind of keep on repeating back to Hearts of Iron 3 because I think that's probably the game majority of you guys have played. You know, as you can see, if we take a look at the actual command structure on the ground, for example, if we go ahead and click if we go ahead and click right here, you can see that these guys, this is I think this has been like a broken up division right now. This goes back to what, the 27th Corps, and then these guys go back to the 6th Army, and then the 6th Army goes back to Army Group South, and then they go back to OKH, which is like the overall division. You can see all these lines as well scattering off from these are also everything they're connected to. All the blue lines are basically what they're commanding, and then that orange line is what kind of their higher up is. But you can see, I just wanted to kind of show this off so you can truly get the scale of the game. If if that's what you're looking for, this game has it. Just hundreds of divisions. Obviously, I can't see all the Russian division. Oh, I actually can. I haven't turned off Fog of War yet. But again, you can see a lot of the Russian army as well scattered throughout. And obviously, the AI is actually extremely impressive in this game. The AI does a very good job. Especially as a newer player myself, the AI does a great job. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the first tutorial series. Let's go ahead and make sure that we do go ahead and set this up right. So we've got Fog of War on, perfect. And that's just all I wanted to go ahead and take a look at. So that were just Russian units we could see, I guess through aircon. I'm sure the Russians do have plenty more. I'm going to play as the Soviets today because they kind of start off as the aggressors. And we're going to be playing the first introductory scenario. This is Veki Luki, and this is when the Russians are on the counter-offensive in 1942. The snows have hit, and it is time for them to push back and take, obviously, this extremely strategic position on the campaign map. So let's go and load into this one, and you'll see the immediate kind of like how much smaller in scope these intro scenarios are. A lot of the other scenarios as well that you can mess around with are going to be kind of just focusing on one army group, which I think is a great way of really getting yourself stuck into this game. Instead of having to worry about army group north, south, and center, you can just kind of focus on, the march to Leningrad from the beginning of the war and vice versa, which I think is really nice. But yeah, as you can see, the actual kind of part we're in this is much, much smaller. So in the game, we can go ahead and kind of talk about a little bit more about how things all work. So we have this new event system, which goes ahead and basically just gives us the situation on the front. Occupied by the Germans since August in 1941, the city of Veki Luki has great strategic value due to the main north-south railway line running just west of the city at Novva. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. As well as the city's own rail network at Veki Luki, the city has been fortified. And so on and so on. So yeah, rail is extremely important in this game because every division has a supply system. Let's go and get rid of this turn summary. As I was saying, every unit, you can go ahead and break down every unit into exactly what they have. So for example, the 31st Rifle Brigade, and again, this is something you can completely ignore if you just want to play the game and not care about this, but it's just for those of you who want to kind of see the depth of this game. You can go ahead and see, so this is the 31st Rifle Brigade right here. They currently have 116 rifle squads. So these are, obviously this is on the division level, this squad has 4,200 men in it, 42 guns and 0 tanks. Or AFVs, it could be like kind of smaller light tanks and so on and so on. But you can go ahead and break up. So in these 100 or whatever rifle squads we have, you can go ahead and break them up and see that they have 4 Mosin Nagant, so they have 1 DP, they have a hand grenade, and obviously all of these guys need supplies. They need reinforcements on guns. They need reinforcements in men. Obviously when you lose in a combat fight, if you lose one of these infantry guns, it doesn't just magically appear. You have to wait until you get resupplied. Resupply also affects severely your movement in this game and also your attack value. Obviously, if your soldiers don't have bullets to shoot, then they're not going to be great if you're telling them to charge across into the city for honor and glory. So that really does matter. Luckily, in this small scenario, we don't really have to worry about it. But you can see on the actual campaign map itself, you're going to have these lines right here, which are moving over. And these basically represent the railhead. If you're playing as the Germans, you're going to have to repair a lot of this railroad to kind of push up your advance, which is really exciting because you're smashing through the Russians. They're completely unorganized and you're just destroying them with your panzers, encircling millions of Russians, but you're also kind of limited by how fast you can repair the rail. So yeah, rail in this game is super important. It basically dictates how your army can fight in the field, which is a great logistical thing. And one of the things that you are going to actually have to control, but it's super simple. You basically just have a railroad counter, which you just repair rail, which is very nice indeed. So take a look at these counters. So for example, we have the 31st Rifle Brigade. On the far left, we have the number right here, number 2. This is going to be their attack value, so how much damage they can do when they're fighting against. You can see over here we have the fortification units. They have a fortification. It's a little bit messed up. Annoyingly, the defense value is on the other side when you're attacking. So I have on my counter 2, which is going to be my attack value, and then 16. That's the amount of movement I can do whenever I move my units around. And this is obviously going to be varied, whether they're motorized, what type of units they have, how much supply they have, if they're in command, and so on and so on. But 16 is generally what you get for like a normal infantry division. Over on the other side as well for the Germans, when it's my go, we can see that they have 7 in attack. I believe that's 7 in attack and 35 in defense. These guys are dug inside of the city. You can see the cities by the kind of little terrain. You can also go ahead and just turn off the units as well if you want to get a good little look at the map. As you can see, Vecchi Luki is extremely fortified. I think this is a specific unit that is set up to defend places like this. I can go ahead and click on it. I can kind of find out a bit more information about it if I wanted to. But again, that really depends on my recon and stuff like that. And yeah, my objective in this campaign is to take these 4 flags, these 4 cities. I'm going to be getting reinforcements throughout the campaign. So are the Germans, and I have 9 turns to do it. So I don't think it's going to be too difficult. I think it's going to be something that we can achieve. But we're going to have to obviously play smart about it. Obviously, you know, our main goal probably at the beginning of the campaign is to go ahead and cut off any supply going in through this railroad into Vecchi Luki. I obviously also want to probably try and take the advantage. There is a river here as well, which I need to cross with my infantry. Trying to take, so obviously my combat value attacking across a river is going to be severely dampened. The game takes all of that into consideration when giving you a rough estimate. So for example, well, I won't be able to show you that quite yet. Let's go ahead and talk about the air war. So the air war, you can completely automate this, which is probably what I'm going to go ahead and do if I go to the top. So again, something to really keep in mind in this game, everything is in a command structure, and you can do a lot of your stuff just by looking at the top. So all of these aircraft, all of these smaller divisions on all these different airstrips, the blues are airstrips, are all under 3rd Air Force, Air Army, sorry. And you can see I've got 82 fighters, I've got 98 bombers, and I've got 20 recon, I think, or like one of these are recons, which I can use. If I want to go ahead and take a look at my air directives as well, you can see that right at the moment. Sorry, this is a little bit confusing. So I don't want to go ahead and open all of them because I know they do get a little bit confusing. But if I go ahead and click any of these, I can go and see what the 3rd Air Army is doing right now. So right now they are running recon on this position. So when I click end turn, they're going to go ahead and recon all of this with recon planes. You can go ahead and really mess around with this. Again, or you can just completely let the AI go ahead and handle this by themselves, which I really, really love about that. So what I might do, and again, you can also just, if you want to, go, oh, the 3rd Aircon group, you can go ahead and click on it and really look into it and see exactly what we've got. So you can see the 3rd Aircon regroup, the 3rd Air Army recon group are going to be moving out here and reconning that. Perfect. You also have ground support as well. I don't actually have any aircraft assigned to it, so let's go ahead and assign. I don't know why the AI wouldn't do that, but let's go ahead and assign, I don't know, we'll go ahead and assign these guys to help out. Let's go ahead and assign these guys as well. So now we've assigned 2 air groups to go ahead and help out. They'll be flying basically in any weather. They'll be flying in basically any weather, and they're basically supporting the 3rd Shock Army, which I believe is everything that I've got here because we're just obviously looking at a small part. So we've got 2 air groups here supporting the 3rd. We've got some of the IL-2s and 14 Yaks as well. I believe the Yaks are our fighter support, so not that the Germans really have much in that. So let's go ahead and click end turn, and then the AI should go ahead and run a recon. Obviously, it depends whether the weather's good. If the weather's going to be bad, then they're probably not going to go ahead and do that. You can also see in the bottom right as well how many planes we've got out and how many we're losing. Unfortunately, we lost 6 due to operational losses, just, I guess, planes misfunctioning. They can obviously be repaired and brought into the pool. But again, you've got to really think like big scale on this. So right now we've gone ahead and reconned, and there's no kind of crazy details. We unfortunately lost 6 planes right here. Some were damaged, but hopefully they'll be repaired and brought back into our kind of resources. So now we're on the kind of fighting phase, and right here is where you can really go ahead and start getting combat. So we're gonna have to look around here. We'll see where our strength is and where the enemy strength is. Obviously they're severely fortified across this region, but you can also go ahead and tell that they haven't really got a lot of strength here. You can see some low numbers down here. You've got a 2 right right here. There's a 1 here with a security unit. Generally, security units obviously are not combat fit, divisions or, divisions. They're kind of there to be security, so they're not going to be kind of able to really stand up. You can see they've got a 1.6 combat value. If you look in the bottom of that kind of box that has popped up, you can see the exact numbers right there. The 85th Security Regiment, 0.9, which is going to be their attack value, and 1.6, which is going to be their defense value. Obviously, as we said earlier, for me, the left is going to be my attack value, and the right is going to be my movement on this little kind of counter right here. And you can also see kind of, some units are going to be much stronger than others. For example, this is the 21st Guards Regiment, and it has 8,000 men and 171 guns on it, whether it's like AT guns, infantry guns, anti-aircraft guns, etc. Which again, obviously, always kind of calculated, and the game does a great job of calculating that. Whereas, for example, if I go ahead and compare that, for example, to the 257th Rifle Division, you can see they've got some AFVs, so some tanks in this. And even if we wanted to go ahead and take a look at them, if we really wanted to see exactly what tanks they do have. Oh, actually, I think the tanks they have are going to be in this support unit right here. They've got a separate tank division, which is kind of supported by them, giving them some extra tanks. Can we see exactly what they have in that? I wonder. Yeah, no, I can, maybe? I'm not sure if I can. I probably can somewhere. I'm not exactly 100% sure exactly where I can see that. But you can see that they do have some AFVs, whether that's, lightly armored tanks, KV-1s, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall battlefield. You can also as well tell, generally, an easy rule of thumb in this game is the more X's they have, the better they are. So for example, these lines, it means that this unit is basically a regimental level, so it's or a battalion level. So it's going to be, actually I think they're called regiments. I'm actually not 100% sure. But they're not going to be as strong. They're not going to be strong as an actual division, which have these 2 X's on. The Russian and German hierarchy kind of does differ a little bit. But for the most part, if you see 2 X's, that unit's going to generally be stronger, or definitely going to be stronger than this unit. This unit's basically going to be a division that's been broken down. So we should be able to smash through that if we want to. And as you can see, our main goal here is obviously to take Veki Luki and the surrounding settlements. We actually have a very strong tank division back here. Yeah, the 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd mechanized. And it does seem, you can tell that these guys have been broken down because they just have an X right here. They do have 2 X's. You can see that they are all part of the same division here. They're all part of the 2nd mechanized. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build these guys up. Don't worry too much about this because I know it can be a little bit confusing. We're going to go ahead and combine these guys up. I need to click on all of them. And let's go ahead and build them up. Can I not? Is there one missing? Is there a 4th mechanized somewhere? Oh, there could be. This is one of the things that I wish the game would do a little bit better. Is go ahead and show me a bit more, kind of like how many is in this broken down division, because it does get a little bit confusing. I guess I can't build them up and break them down. No, something's missing here, so I guess I can't do that. I wish the game would do a little bit of a better job there, kind of showing you exactly what you need. But it's fine. I think everybody is also under the 3rd Shock Army. Yeah, everybody's under the 3rd Shock Army. The 3rd Shock Army is under the Cannon Front, and then they're under the STA, the VKA. Cool, let's do some fighting then. So obviously our main objective here, as I keep on saying that I'm getting sidetracked, but our main objective is obviously to push through here, cut the railroad line into Veki Luki, and move on. So we have to do that, and we obviously only have a set amount of movement points to do that every turn. Whenever you fight a battle, that absorbs movement points as well. So what I might do, the 28th Guard down here. So they have a 2.7 defense value, generally, and we have a 5 attack value. So chances are we would not win that. Whenever you're trying to push back an enemy in a battle, you have to try and get better odds than 2 to actually make them retreat or fall back or rout or surrender. There's plenty of things that can happen. And this is what is called a hasty attack. A hasty attack is basically, we can see right now, just the arrow and the explosion. It basically means I'm going to go ahead and just, my soldiers are on the move. There's not much planning involved in this attack. We're just going to kind of hit the enemy defenses and see what happens. If you hold down shift, you can see that immediately turns to a big explosion, and then you can go ahead and see your combat value. Also as well, we've done a great job as well. If you actually look on that bar as well, it actually tells you attacking combat value, defensive combat value. So it actually gives you a rough estimate of what is going to go ahead and support this in this combat. So right now we would have a 5.6 and they would have a 2.7, which isn't quite 2 to 1, obviously. Or maybe it just is. Is it just is for? No, yeah, it's nowhere near. Sorry. Actually, it's kind of close, actually. I'm not sure if it is or not. So let's go ahead and see if we can add a support unit to this unit. Do we already have one? We already actually have the 184th tank. Actually, let's just have a look. The river is still here as well. So could I do anything? Would it be a good idea, actually? So we could definitely smash... We couldn't. It would be just... We'd have to actually deliberate attack here. I could get away with it because we have an attack value of 3. They have a defense value of 1.6, which obviously is just over 2.1. Can we add anything to this 21st Guards? We could assign... nice, we can assign a support division, which is basically something that is a little bit... something that just gives your unit a little bit of a buff. So we're basically kind of, attaching a battalion, which is obviously levels down from a division. Let's go ahead and add these guys. That will hopefully give us enough combat value because, again, I'm really trying to avoid going ahead and using my movement points. Deliberate attacks are obviously going to be way more expensive movement point wise than these fast attacks. So right now we should have enough to smash these guys. If we go ahead and pause it really quickly, you can kind of see the breakdown. So we just did that. You can see we did actually manage to get above 2 to 1. So then the enemy defeated. If we would have got below that, then they would have gone ahead and just hold firm, even though we would have taken losses. So right there, we've managed to go ahead and do that. We are the attackers. We lost 10 of our AFVs. We lost 76 men. We managed to kill 104 of their soldiers, 6 of their guns, and killed 8 of their tanks, which honestly is pretty good. And they just retreated. They didn't do anything too crazy. So now what we can do is we can now move across here. Oh god, it's going to take so many movement points crossing the river, but I think it's something that we should do. We could also just try and clear out a bit more of this, though. I don't know, it'd be a bad idea. But also, obviously, so again, one of the things you can do is you can deliberate attack. So you can't go ahead and join a fast attack. So for example, I can't get these 2 divisions to join me in a fast attack against this division. Or this is like more of a regiment, unfortunately. But what I can do is I can deliberate attack and then I can also select this unit. So you can see in the right, both of the units, both the 21st Guards and the 28th Guard rifles are both in this attack. So you can basically deliberate attack. It's going to take way more movement points to do so. But you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, right here, I would love to get across this river, but it would be all my movement. It takes about four movement points to go ahead and do a normal attack, and then it takes about 6 or 7 to do a deliberate attack, depending on the terrain and stuff. But yeah, getting across this river is a hard task, but it takes a big amount of the defense out of the enemy. And I could really close in here on the north. So before I do that, I think I'm actually in the north going to start moving down, so I can cross the river here without too much harassment. We ran into something right here. I don't exactly know what it is. But I'd love to go ahead and sit here. Again, it's going to take up 11 of my movement points to do here. Am I going across a river? I'm not. Okay, so this is costing me 11 movement points. You can see I have 11 on this regiment or on this brigade right now. The reason this is costing me 11 movement points is because I'm moving through enemy zone of control. Because there's a big kind of like condensed force right here. Is they kind of output a zone of control, and it costs loads to get through that zone of control. So because there are there's 2 units here, there's a counter here, there's 2 inside this city, there's 1 here, and they're all outputting the zone of control, which is going to be taking up a lot of movement points if I want to try and get here. So what might be a good idea is to, again, cross the river with this unit. I'm leaving the north very vulnerable, but we have a ski brigade up here, which can obviously hold this, and we have some regiments which don't have any movement points right now, but they will in the next couple turns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these guys. I think we're just going to go ahead and just do a hasty attack. So we can do a hasty attack with both the units on the same tile. You can have 3 tiles maximum or 3 counters in any tile maximum, and you can hasty attack with all the same counters in the same tile. But obviously I couldn't select another guys to come and help me. So let's go ahead and just hasty attack this. If we can break this out, that might be able to free up some space to get in here. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, we absolutely smashed them, but it was difficult. We actually routed them as well, so these guys aren't going to come back. Unfortunately, though, we can no longer move into this position. I was hoping that would kind of exert a little less control and we'd be able to move in there. Maybe we could break through this unit, though, and that would be good as well. Okay, so I'm still kind of stuck here. We obviously have all of these mechanized as well. We can try and push through here as well. You can see that they have so that's probably why we can't build up and break this down, is because these guys don't have any movement points and this one does. As you can see, the mechanized unit that we do have has 5,000 men in. When we can build this second mechanized back together, it's going to be really, really strong. You can see they have 41 movement points. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and bring these guys in here, or I could bring them up here. I think we really obviously have to deal with these guys. The question is, do we bring the mechanized in? Mechanized would be very useful at smashing these. And again, getting them across the river as well is going to be huge as well. We obviously also need to take Becky Lukey. I mean, it makes sense, really, just to use these guys and just smash this unit. With a deliberate attack, we would really demolish them. And that might also make it a little bit easier for this unit to get across. So yeah, let's go and do that. Let's just go and select... How many do we need? So that wouldn't be enough. What if we do use this unit as well? That'd be more than enough. So we're going to try and save this unit because they have 8,000 men, 120 guns and AFVs. Again, attacking across this river, though, is brutal. It really is. We can also just move this unit up. I doubt they're going to kind of push out Becky Lukey with that fortification unit. I just really don't want them to get any more units in to this position. So let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and smash across this. I'm sure it doesn't matter too much. We're probably going to take some pretty heavy casualties. We have to deliberate attack, though. So we get 3-1, which is good. We managed to push them back, which is even better. They lost 233 men, 12 of their guns. We lost 300 men. We lost the planes. We also got some air support as well. You remember at the beginning of the battle, we went ahead and set up some ground defenses. We went ahead and assigned them ground support divisions to come and help us, or air groups to come and help us, and they did. We lost 9 of them due to just flak and stuffing the enemy units. That's fine. Managed to smash that. So now you can see this 3 number. Because there was a big battle here, it's going to cost us a little bit more movement points to get in there. Again, I still can't get in there, which is really annoying. I'm going to have to do it with this mechanized unit, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it here, which I guess will be fine. So can we honestly not get across here? Oh, we can't. So I'm probably going to do this, right? Push this unit in there, just get it across the river. And then, yeah, I guess we're going to get it just stuck in here. Really try and push the enemy back. And again, as I said, this is a fairly strong unit that we can utilize pretty effectively. So let's go and stick them in there. And boom, just like that, we've gone ahead and cut the rail. Annoyingly, I can't get in here. I maybe should have attacked with it a little bit less, honestly. Yeah, you can't get in here. You can't get in there either. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to bring down some of these stronger units. So let's go ahead and see what do we have. So I'll probably bring down the 36 guards down here, and we'll probably use them to go ahead and hit this division right here. Yeah, can I deliberate attack with both of them? I can't, so they don't have enough movement points to deliberate attack, unfortunately. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to bring down the 9th shock infantry as well, or rifles. What's stronger? So this is 8,000 men, 30 tanks. This has 21 tanks, which is fine. So let's go ahead and bring down probably a little bit of a weaker unit, because I don't think I'll need too much to do this. Can I assign any? So they've already got a separate tank division, and then these guards have a separate tank as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and say both of these guys. What's our odds at defeating them? So not great, honestly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to deliberate attack here. I'm not expecting to win this battle. I'm going to win it. I'm going to probably kill more of them, and they're going to kill me. But my main plan here is to weaken them so that this unit can then take them out and obviously get across the river. Oh, we smashed them. Wow. Again, my recon for that unit must have been really bad, because I was expecting a lot worse than I got. And then you can see, now I've killed that. It's just going to make, yeah, now I've taken out this unit. My zone of control is really pushed up, and now I can actually get some units into this, which is nice. That's actually really good. I can't get into here because they've still got good zone of control there. But now they don't have, like, full zone of control here. I can actually push up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get the 9th in here. None of you guys can get up there, unfortunately. So now we've got a question of what do we do here? Do we start making our push on the city down in the south? I'm not sure exactly. This is Nerval. We definitely start getting closer. I mean, obviously their defense value is 10. They're going to be entrenched inside of that. What do they even have here? So our recon is saying that they've got a part of the 291st Infantry. They've got a part of the 20th Motorized, and also a command group as well. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is, do we just move in, or do I reinforce this kind of gap right here? There's no way they're breaking through that unit there. I think we might actually bring up the 29th up in the north, honestly. And just kind of hold it like that, you know, really try and stop them from breaking through this. They might break through the 21st Guard, but I doubt it. And I believe that's everything we have, right? There's no need to move any of my HQs around because it's such a small battle. Obviously, in the grand campaign or the bigger campaigns, you're going to have to be moving a lot of your HQs around. Because this is such a small part, I have to basically just make sure that all of my divisions are within 5. On this divisional level, I have to make sure that the divisions themselves are within 5 of my HQ. That way, they're going to get their as much supply as I can get to them. You know, there's not much more I can do than that. I've got good railroads here and all of that stuff, which is looking good. I think that's going to be our first turn. We could also do a probing attack on Vecchi, see what they've got. Maybe start taking away their fort level, because they obviously do have a fort. At the moment, their fort level is 3. You can see there's a fort here with 2, 2, and 2, which is going to give them obviously much bigger defense values. So yeah, let's go and do it. Do we have enough to like direct? Do we have enough to deliberate attack here? You can see that we are severely outnumbered and outmatched. Which I might go ahead and we're going to lose some tanks here. Is this a dumb decision? I kind of almost just want to probe at them, you know, see exactly what they have. So it's going to do that. We're obviously going to be pretty messed up. You can see that we were outnumbered 11 to 1 in that. We lost 30 infantry and 4 tanks. That's not the worst thing in the world. I just wanted to see him. They didn't lose a single man. Okay, that was a really, really bad decision of me. I could also move this unit up here and maybe to guard my north. I doubt they're going to push out here. Again, we really want to hold this line and then start to, like, obviously take these outer cities. And we're going to want to bring some soldiers back as well, because obviously there's a river here. And I don't want to attack across the river into that, because it's going to give me, obviously, really bad combat odds. So I kind of want my attacking forces to be, like, in these 3 tiles here, pushing into Vecchi. But they should start to struggle a little bit. One of those things you can do as well up here is you can actually toggle supply on. Yeah, supply. And right here, you can see exactly this green right here shows how in supply units are. So you can see a lot of the Russians, especially in Vecchi, are already struggling on supplies. So attacking that is actually not a bad idea. Attacking some losing battles there is honestly not the worst thing in the world. I guess just to stop these guys from breaking out, I'm going to move up the 46, and you can see they've got no movement points there. Nothing I can do with these guys anymore. That's kind of embedded in there, which is fine. Okay, cool. I think that's my turn. A bit of a long turn, but again, I'm trying to explain a lot of stuff. And hopefully this does make sense and isn't just a complete, like, mind boggle. So again, one of the things you can do is give over. There are supply depots in the game. One of these buttons. So you can also turn on the roads as well, which is cool. And you can also turn on the supply as well. That's supply priority, sorry. Something you have to worry about. There is also a supply depot mode. Is it this one? Yeah, so you can see a lot of the supply depots right here. Generally just, you know, if the bar's bigger, it means they have more supply. And the AI generally sets these up for you. So what you can do is you can just tell the AI to do that if you want to. Before every end turn, you just do that. The AI will calculate where they need to build supply depots, and they'll do it. And we'll end our turn, and now the Germans will take their turn. So we'll see exactly where the Germans, if they're planning on counter-attacking anywhere, the AI will run through all the things they need to do, kind of figure out what makes sense of them on it. You can obviously see the red tiles on their turn, obviously going to be my go. It doesn't seem like the AI is... Okay, just doing their air directives now. So I assume they're going to be running some recon. Trying to get a better idea. You can see they lost 2 planes, just operational. And if we wanted to really try and stop this, we could have put up, you know, for example, we could have put up some fighters to try our best to really counter their recon, really kind of repel that. They actually did lose 5 planes through flak there. And here we go. Now it's their combat phase. They'll be getting some reinforcements and stuff being brought into the battle. Yeah, you can see they've really kind of surrounded that. They're reforming. You can also see as well their combat values as well. The unit in Vecchi is 0 combat value. Or maybe that's their movement right on there. Go, they have... Is that 7? No way, they have 7 combat value in there. That'd be insane. I guess it is a full division. Now it's my go again. The AI is kind of running through all my supply, kind of calculating how much supply is getting to my units. And now we're back to the air directive. So you can see that in the operational changes, so during that, we went ahead and lost 2,000 men. The Axis actually gained 3,000 men in that turn because they would have got reinforcement divisions that were coming in from, you know, different parts of the map and stuff, you know, reinforcing. So right now, it's projected that the Axis will win a decisive victory. You can see as well, we actually lost quite a few tanks as well. Logistically, though, we were okay. Combat alerts as well. You can see if any units are out of supply or something. These units have the yellow border right now are a little bit under strength. That's fine. And that's fine. So we now back onto the air directives. I don't know exactly what we've got going. We've got ground support. We actually have another ground support here for some reason. Yeah, they're supporting that. Where is that ground support? It's just kind of supporting third shop here. So we can actually just go ahead and select. We can actually just add another one if we wanted to. Or can we not? Yeah, there you go. So we can add another one if we wanted to, and just add in some more of our planes. Which I guess I'll do. I don't know what the P2s are, though, if they are actually good at supporting. I don't know exactly how I see that. Is there any way for me to, like, literally look in there? I don't want to send them to reserve. I want to see, like, what this plane is. I'm not sure exactly how I go ahead and do that without bringing up some menus that you guys are going to be really intimidated about. So, screw it. The PE2s, they're going in. They might not be the best planes in the world. Also adding these guys as well. We'll confirm. Sure. And they'll just basically support. So, it's basically up to commanders to really figure out whether or not these guys are good. So, again, a lot of the things with support units and aircraft and stuff, when it comes to ground support, there are hundreds of dice rolls that happen off camera. If we go ahead and do this really quickly and we just turn off the air quickly and just take a look at the unit, so you can see right now that this Birdshock army is being led by Kuzma, Kuzma right here. You can see he has a bunch of different stuff here. He's got some good infantry, not good at leading tanks or anything, and his air is awful, so he wouldn't be in command of my air. Basically, there are hundreds of checks that go on, and he has to basically pass rolls out of 10. Some rolls are easier, some rolls are harder, and it really depends on his stats. You can also replace him as well, which I might do. Can we replace him? Yeah, we can just put Zukov in charge. He's amazing. He is like the best stats in the game. You can see he's at his 7 mech, so he's amazing leading tanks, amazing leading infantry. So basically, whenever it comes to him getting support units to battles or, you know, calling in air support or something, he'll pass them checks like pretty much 95% of the time, meaning that his men will perform better on the ground. So let's go and get Zukov in there. Sure. Obviously, he's normally probably needed elsewhere, you know, in the south right now. Was Zukov even at when? December 42? Yeah, Zukov was in the south at this point. The pocket that was in 42, right? The pocket started to form because the Germans were inside the city by this point, I believe, or the Axis, I should say, or inside the city. So nice. It doesn't seem like the enemy really were able to counter us whatsoever, and we've gone ahead and got a bunch more units unlocked. We've got some partisans going on. Not going to really go into that too much. Do we have any more reinforcements coming in? Is there any way to see? Is it order of battle? No, these are basically everything we've got in this. I want to see reinforcements, like when we're getting more soldiers. Press production. So you can also as well see, like, again, this is pretty much all automated, but you can see, and again, it's much more important for the more grander scale combats, but you can actually see like everything that's being produced in your nation. So you can see that we're getting, you know, these T-50s being produced and how many of them, and when we're going to get, you know, a 60 built. We've got 10 of these Matildas, land lease obviously coming in. We've got 10 of these in our pool, so our divisions, when they're requesting reinforcements, have, you know, they can pull 10 of these in if our armored divisions do need it. So there's so much cool stuff there. I'm just seeing if there's, I think it's this one here, show reinforcements. So on turn 2, which is this turn, we got the 26th infantry and they've arrived, which is good. On turn 3, we're going to get some support divisions, nothing crazy. Turn 4, we're going to be getting another tank brigade, which is amazing. The actual brigades of the actual proper counters. And then turn 5, we're going to get a big amount of reinforcements, whether it's, yeah, so I think at turn 5 is probably when we want to try and take Becky Lukey. Because we're getting a bunch of support divisions, which are going to be good, which are going to be like the artillery regiment, which is going to be a very useful thing at breaking down enemy fortifications. Yeah, so, and also the sappers as well. So I think turn 5 and turn 7 are when we go for it. Sappers are amazing at destroying fortifications and attacking cities. So I think, again, we just continue to really... oh, wow, they left this place undefended. They have as well. Okay, well, that's our air directive done. So let's go ahead and quickly turn on just so you guys can see. Where is it? Up here, right? Wait, where was it? This is one of the things of the game. You're gonna get, there you go. You're gonna get. It's gonna take a little while to get used to a lot of buttons, but they all do some amazing stuff. So let's go and do that. We should be running recon. Yeah, we're still running recon. The weather is still good. You can see also the snow's come down a lot thicker now as well. It is snowing, but even in the snow we can move out. It's causing us to lose some planes, but we're gonna get a much better idea. And again, for the most part, the AI is taking control of, you know, pretty much 90% of the air war. You can see that our recon, we actually unfortunately lost, what, 2 planes? We flew twice in the week, and we've got some good eyes on it. Okay, cool. And obviously our ground hasn't done anything yet because we haven't gone ahead and fought any battles. Oh, our airfield is a little bit oversaturated there. That's not good. Okay, that's fine, though. So let's take a look at what we got. So our recon revealed a big push in the north, which is fine. Probably going to go ahead and just defend this area. We also unlocked all of these guys as well. And as I said, I really want to go ahead and get these guys to build up into one big division again, because it's going to be so powerful and something we can use to take on a lot of these regions. Also, it seems like the Germans have like abandoned their positions here. Yeah, it really does seem like it. I mean, is this like, obviously I guess they just felt like they did not have enough strength to take it, and they're just gonna kind of rebuild in the north and then kind of try and hit me. The question is, what do we do here? Because I want to get in this region, I want to get in this position, but then I won't be able to attack. I'll have 0 movement points left. I guess we're gonna do it. You know, there's no reason not to. The 21st Guards can hold him. That's 9,000 men. We got 163 guns they can now set up and fortify in that town. Again, I really want to get across this river, so I might honestly just ignore this small regiment they have back here. This is only part of an infantry division. I can't have many men. And I just feel like I probably want to just get across the river. Again, whenever you move into enemy zone of control as well, which is obviously anything in these red, it also absorbs a lot of movement points as well. So, for example, they're going to be very much struggling to kind of push deep into my lines because they're going to have to be taking all my counters, which is not going to be very difficult. A lot of things in the Grand campaign, you move with like your infantry forward, and you basically try and get rid of as many of these as many of these red tiles as possible, so that your panzers can just steamroll through them and envelop the enemy. See, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to fortify kind of this line. I wouldn't mind continue pushing my battle line, but again, the weather is not good either. So I think this unit has to come up here. I'm not going to worry about the north right now. Until these guys get movement points, which they don't. They haven't got any movement points quite yet. Until they get movement points, I think I'm just going to try and yeah, beat back the enemy. Unfortunately, we actually have a good defensive value there. And we can bring this unit up here as well. What would I mind if the AI moved up through here? Probably not, right? Because these guys are going to lock at some point. So again, let's just really try and fortify our stranglehold in the south. I doubt these guys can. They can deliberate attack and they can hasty attack, which is not going to be good. We could also bring this unit up as well, or I could just smash them out here because we're across the river as well. So I don't think they're going to be breaking through here. I wouldn't mind cutting this railroad though. There is already another railroad, right? Yeah, there's already this railroad here. Which is double rail, which means they get loads of supplies from this place. So ideally taking this would be our #1 goal. So maybe that's what we send these guys after. We push up the rest of these guys, like to here. Dealing with them. They've got 7 defense though. They are dug in that snow. And it's mainly just, they've got the 8th Panzer Division. They've got a full Panzer Division there, which is obviously one of the scary things. Lucky actually has better supply now, which is kind of funny. The HQ there. Do we just try and smash these guys? What's our odds? If we set both these guys and we deliberate attack here, we do get better than 2 to 1, so we could smash these guys back. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's kind of, you know, again, force the enemy to have to go into my zone of control. Oh, we absolutely demolished them. Okay. I did not need to do that much. As much as I did. Oh, we can also get into this as well. Would I want to, though? There's only 1,000 men in the ski brigade, which is probably not a good idea. So let's just go and fortify there. Let's just take this. If the AI wants to move in here, they won't be able to mount a massive counter-offensive. Again, I wouldn't mind maybe just starting to, like, push up north a little. Because then these guys could come in and just resupply this region. As I said, my main goal is probably down in the south. If I could just take, like, this settlement here, I can cut the rail very easily, like, in the next couple turns. So now we try a big counter-offensive, or not counter-offensive, but a big offensive here. We get 17 to 8. So we would get 2 to 1 here, which would be very nice. And then I'd probably lose a lot of vehicles for that 8th Panzer. So do we have anything else? Also, yeah, this unit couldn't help. I could bring one of these guys up to join as well. And are there any other things I could add? So I could add a support unit here. I could take an anti-tank, which obviously would be very good. But I don't generally want to do that to my motorized because they'll slow them up. Because obviously it's an anti-tank. They're not motorized anti-tank or anything. Let's see if we can apply it. So they've already got the 3rd tank. They've already got a 3rd separate tank as well. Yeah, so they've already got divisions there. You can't help out. So the question is, what do we do now? Bring you guys up. You will not have any movement, but you would also then cross the river, which is also obviously something we wanted to happen. at some point. You could move up here if we needed more in the north than we need to, but I think we're going to leave this this unit here, and let's actually get rid of them, because I'm going to need these guys to not have tanks if they're going into the city. Obviously, tanks perform a lot worse inside the city. I guess for now, we will just apply the 137 anti-tank, which will give them a little bit more punch against these guys. And then let's go and do that. So we're going to get 17.1 to 8.3, which should just about give us 2-to-1. We absolutely smashed them. Again, you know, recon isn't always accurate. We lost 20 tanks, 212 men. Our ground support happened. So again, that's kind of like the rough combat estimate. That doesn't really always include like supporting air. So we got, you know, 29 P2s into the fight. They also got some anti-aircraft in there, which obviously shot down some of our planes. It doesn't also include all the other support divisions. You can see that the commanding officer here, Zhukov, also deployed some of our other support regiments, which weren't directly connected to a unit. They deployed the 603rd Mortar, and that's again just him passing these checks. Now, by pushing them back is nice, but can I get a unit in there? I don't think I'm going to be able to, you know, because crossing that river is just so painful. So what I might do is I might just put a unit here and a unit into there. Again, because there's been a big battle here, it just costs so much more to move in here. But we did smash the 4th Panzer, pushing them back, which is nice. And I guess I will just get everyone across the river. Again, I don't really have much in here right now. I'm gonna have to, you know, as we get further into this campaign, I'm gonna have to think a little bit more about what I set up here. And yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing there. I could also just hasty attack these guys. There's just no need. Again, we're just gonna continue just to you know, keep Becky Lukey at bay. It might not be a bad idea, honestly, to think about smashing a little bit further back. I don't know where the city is. This is Nabkaskovnica. So it might be a good idea to deal with that at some point. But we're good. I imagine the Germans will get some good reinforcements next turn. Especially if they've got a mechanized division up here in the north, which is a little bit scary. And we take a look at our reinforcements as well. We don't really get many reinforcements for a while, honestly. Yeah, like until we hit turn 4 and turn 5, we're gonna have to kind of just bunker down, continue to starve out, and make sure that no supplies can get to Becky Lukey. So let's see what the AI does. If they try and counter-offense off us at all with our unit, we've cut off 2 German divisions now, which is gonna be a big help for us. Our ground support is really paying dividends. Also, taking these airfields is nice as well, because it means that you can see this red line right here means that our air force, there's just too many planes on that airfield. So taking these extra airfields, if we can hold them, means that our planes, again, the AI does a lot of that, you know, kind of in the background. They can go ahead and sort this out. I might actually set up an air superiority directive, so we can start shooting down some of these recon planes. Because as you can see, the AI, the Germans, don't have many in the way of supporting units. They pushed up a little bit, but nothing crazy. They actually did kind of take this tile. If they don't take this tile here, they did take it. That's annoying, because I would like to smash through that. But it does only seem that they took it with a much smaller division, which shouldn't be too much trouble to actually clear out. Yeah, it seems like they took it. So that's actually really smart by the AI. You can see again, they took it with a smaller division, moved that division inside of the city, and then brought up new ones, because it would cost the new units moving into that a lot less when they've already got it in control. Oh my god, we just shot down 5 of their transport planes. They're trying to resupply some of their units at the moment, and we're shooting down a lot of our yaks, are demolishing them, which is good. I'm interested to see what they actually brought into that tile right there. And the snow, again, the snow is really causing us problems. Normally, we would be able to, like, move into these tiles, but the snow is just slowing us down so much. You know, it's the 8th of December. Okay, let's take a quick look at what we've got. So what do? They actually brought in some really weak divisions here. So we can smash through this with minimal units and actually break in here through here, which is perfect. Oh, look at this as well. The AI did try. They moved in their mechanized, and they actually did a pretty good job, honestly, of breaking through. This shouldn't be too hard to cut off and stop, but a little bit scary. You can see the AI is not stupid. But I think that's where we're going to go ahead and leave it today. If you guys do want to see more of this, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and do another episode as we finish off this campaign. The beginning of this was kind of very slow because I had to explain a lot of stuff. But hopefully you guys have a good idea about what's going on. And this is obviously such a small scenario that it's much easier to comprehend exactly what's happening. But you can see the AI is doing some smart stuff here, not being super stupid. Their supplies, I don't know how these guys are still in supply though. If anything, their supply's gone up. Which I don't quite understand because they shouldn't be able to get any supplies into the city whatsoever. But I guess because I'm not attacking, they're not using any supplies. But they also should be running out of food and stuff. Is there like an ammunition? Ammunition's fine. Unit, supply priority, fuel. Yeah, they've run out of fuel here. Again, they've probably got way too far ahead from their units. Like their HQ is probably here. So they're probably like really out of fuel, and you can see that's why the mechanized are a lot weaker. But we'll deal with them. But yeah, if you guys want to see another episode of this, I would love to do one more, finish off the scenario. I think it would only take me one more to do so. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like and a comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.